Hey everyone, Chris here. So this is a quick video to show you how to fill out your bill abstract, all right? Remember that the abstract is required for our Senate role play, and you need to submit it to the committee in which you're a member. Also remember that your abstract must be of a topic that falls underneath the umbrella title of your committee. So if your committee, for example, is the Armed Services Committee, anything that deals with the armed services is fair game, okay? All right, so in front of us we have an abstract, and I've already put in my name, my party, and my state. I've gone out and done some research, and I figured out that what I want to write about is creating a high-speed rail network in the United States. And so I've come up with a snappy little title. That title is put my cursor in, the American High-Speed Passenger Rail System, or ASPH. Let's see, sorry, AHSPR, ASPR, okay? So when I'm talking to people about my program, I'm simply going to call it the ASPR program instead of the full title. In a single sentence, explain what program it is you're trying to create, reform, or kill. Oh, that's easy. I want to create a high-speed passenger rail service system, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let's write that out. Okay, so my single sentence explaining the program is, this bill will provide matching grant funding for states wishing to create high-speed passenger rail service from international airport hubs to directly compete with regional air providers while reducing emissions and greenhouse gases. Okay, that is the essence of my bill. All right, so next, how much will this cost? Well, I've already gone through and done the calculations. You can see I've got it here. I put it in. $2.4 billion per state requesting funding based upon matching local funds. What this says is that that we will have up to $2.4 billion available for each state that requests the funding. But they have to have already raised $2.4 billion alongside of it. Now, where did I get this number? Well, in my research, I discovered that Florida was planning a high-speed rail network, and they were going to operate it from Tampa to Orlando and from Orlando to Miami. Now, their network was flawed in many ways, but one of the things I discovered was the cost that they expected it to run or to build it for. They were planning for $2.4 billion to run from Tampa to Orlando. That's a distance of about 136 miles, okay? Now, as I said, their network was flawed in many ways, and in fact, the program was canceled. But I decided to take the $2.4 billion and say, okay, fine. That amount then will be available per state requesting the funds. And then they have to come up with the rest of it on their own, okay? There are already grants out there, federal grants available from the Transportation Department for high-speed rail networks. So this simply goes alongside of those, all right? Okay, so the next question then would be, does it create jobs and does it take away jobs? And the answer here is going to be both yes. Yes and yes. Then I need to say where it will create the jobs. Well, that's pretty easy. Construction and rail services. And I have to justify the losses that will be incurred. And I simply say airline workers may transfer into rail services. The may here is important. I'm thinking about the fact that there may be people as well who decide that they don't want to work in rail services and they don't appreciate the government stepping in to compete, presumably at a lower cost, with the airlines, thus taking away their jobs. Therefore, I'm thinking about the fact that there may be lawsuits. And so may transfer says that there is no guarantee that they can transfer, all right? It protects me. Then, how will I pay for the legislation? Well, in order to encourage people to ride the train and in order to as well pay for it in a way that is not going to hit the majority of American people, I'm going to say federal airline and airport taxes of at least $10 per ticket. Okay? I have not done any research on that number. I don't know whether that number is a good number to work from. That is something that can be debated in the committee. In other words, I have a little bit of time in which to go out and do that research. That number is changeable. Then who is expected to benefit from this program? Okay, so you cannot say simply people or citizens or the nation or somebody. You have to be specific here. And so who's going to benefit from this program? Well, commuters and medium-sized travelers, medium distance travelers are likely to benefit the most. So is the construction industry, so is the railroad industry. They're all going to benefit. So that's what I'm going to put down. So as I was writing that, it dawned on me that there's another group that will also benefit, and that's air traffic controllers. Because if this network is successful, there will be a reduction in the number of planes in the air. All right, therefore their stress levels come down. So who's going to benefit? Commuters and medium distance travelers, the construction industry, and revitalization of rail service, and air traffic controllers. Then, in a single sentence, explain how it will benefit this constituency. Okay. This is going to take you a few moments to do. When I first wrote it out, I came up with a paragraph, multiple sentences, and I had to figure out a way of putting those sentences into a single sentence as the draft calls for. And so what I came up with was this, a single sentence. A high-speed rail network radiating outward from international airport hubs will reduce the number of aircraft flying over America's largest cities, thus reducing pollution and the risk of mid-air crashes, while also providing low-cost transportation alternatives for commuters and medium-distance travelers, thus reducing the number of automobiles on the freeways and creating opportunities for entrepreneurship along the routes and encouraging major metropolitan centers to expand their public transportation options, period. And then finally, in a single sentence, explain how this bill represents the interests of your party. Well, I'm a Democrat for this project, so that's fairly simple. The Democratic Party are champions of the environment and innovative technologies and the building of infrastructure. At least that's what they want to say they are. Okay, and so since I'm a Democrat, I have to model that in my behavior. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So the Democratic Party has long been the champions of innovative, efficient, and environmentally friendly alternatives for public transportation in the United States. Okay. So, except for listing my 5 online resources that I've used to gather the information, this is done. Now, those online resources, I want you to notice, this is the format that we are looking for your resources. Okay, web page, document title, the full web address, and the date that you looked at it. That's all we need. We don't need anything else. Okay. If you want to go with the Chicago style, as we have directed you to do for your written work, that's great and wonderful. But for this particular project, because of the short time frame, etc., we're willing to accept the shortened format. Okay. All right. Once you have finished writing the abstract, then you need to submit it. Once you have finished writing your abstract, then you have to turn it in. And you're going to turn it in 2 places. First, you're going to turn it in to your instructor through your class site. You're going to look for an assignment entitled Submit Your Bill Abstract Here. You'll click on that and then follow the directions inside. This is where the graded document will go. Then you will also submit it to your committee. Now, the draft that goes before your committee is not going to be graded. Rather, it is what you'll be using for your debates. It's the debates that are being graded. And so when you publish it here, you're going to simply click on Files and then Upload, and you'll upload it in. This will allow everyone in your group to be able to see it and to download it themselves. Okay? Remember that the draft that is being submitted to your committee is not being graded. Whether or not your bill survives the committee process is not going to be graded. And whether or not your bill is passed by the full session of the Senate is not going to be graded. The only version of the bill that will be graded is the one that you submit in the class site through the assignment Submit Your Bill Abstract here. Okay? All right, that's it. If you have any other questions, please let one of your instructors know. Okay? Bye-bye.